Okay, guys, it's April 12th already, and I'm thanking you guys all for joining us on this call. It's going to be great. I'm super excited to have Devon with us. Devon and I met in Los Angeles. We're both from the Midwest. We had to go to California to meet each other, but we had a great time. And I know I've mentioned on our calls before how great the New Leader Conference is, and how real it is that you guys, even at this point in your coaching career, you can get there at the end of the year. Because last year at this point, I was an emerald. I had been a diamond, lost my rank, and I worked my way back to 2-star at the end of the year. So it is entirely possible, even if you're a brand new coach. So I highly recommend you to set that as your goal. But I do have a few things that I'm gonna go over here quickly. Let's see, I'm gonna share my screen here. Just for my team here, because I haven't had a team call in a little bit. So I just wanted to, let's see, here we go. Can you guys see that? Where it says upcoming challenge groups. Can you see that now? Now it says team call. Okay. So, okay. I just want to go over some of our upcoming challenge groups. I know some of you had asked what we're doing, and the first list that I had posted for April, I've kind of scratched that. We've rearranged a few things. So we have one starting on the 18th, and that is just a repeat of the Busy Life 30-day group that we started one, a couple weeks ago. So we're going to run the same group again. It's been pretty popular. We'll use the same template, and basically all they need is a program in Shakeology. And we're not going too deep into personal development with this one, because it's all about like meal planning and making things simple and getting fitness done in like half an hour or less. So totally encouraging the 22-minute hardcore, because it's so easy to fit into anyone's schedule. 21-day fix, T25, it's an older program, but it has so many people that are just completely devoted to it still. So that one starts on Monday. We've got a list going in our team group page. So if you have challengers, please add their name to that list, and then also add your name as a coach to that list. That way, when I open the group, we will add all the coaches as administrators so that they can add their challengers. And okay, the next one that we're going to run for April is a 7-day sampler. And this is something that I've never done before, but Jessica Coldy, who was a guest on our call a couple of weeks ago, she and I kind of brainstormed this idea, and the thought was to give everyone like the same experiences you would with a 30-day group, but only commit to 7 days, because so many people don't want to do the full 30 days of Shakeology. You can get a 7-day sample pack now on Team Beachbody or on Shakeology.com, where you get all 7 flavors of Shakeology. So that is going to be the only purchase requirement for this. We'll have all the same cool stuff. We'll have like the daily assignments. We'll have a couple fun prizes. You just need to have them assign you as their coach, and then get that sample pack. So I think it's a great way to kind of get people who are hesitant about Shakeology into it. Each of the 7 days will like focus on a different flavor and give everyone like different recipe ideas, and kind of walk them through the process of why Shakeology is so important. So I think hopefully that'll be a great group. I always like it when there's a group that doesn't cost a whole lot, just to kind of give people that experience. So far this month, that's all I have planned for April, but of course we always have new stuff in the works. I'm not going to do a coach sneak peek again this month unless something changes, because we just did one right after Super Saturday. Now, normally that's something I do the last week in the month, but I feel like I don't want to overdo it. So maybe we'll wait until like early May to do that. So that's kind of a rundown on our challenge groups that are coming up. And Friday is the 15th. So I want you guys to all try to get SC5 out of the way by Friday. It just seems like so many of us are waiting until the end of the month, and then we're kind of panicking, and we're seeming to be like desperate with our posts and all that. And I just want you to try to get it out of the way. With that challenge group that's opening up on Monday, this is the time to be inviting to that. So it's a really good fit. I mean, you just really need to get like 3 challengers involved in that group, and you've hit SC5. And got a sassy mug for you if you do. I know the picture kind of cut it off, but you know what it says. So you've probably seen it on my profile page or in our group. So it's kind of, not a mug that you want to use when your kids are around, but I think it's kind of cool. Okay, I'm going through this quickly because I want to get to Devon. But Monday, we start registration for Coach Summit, and I know some of you are going to be going, and I'm so excited. It was such a fun time last year. So you'll want to get registered right away. You can register for one live workout. I registered for Joel and Jericho's workout. And it's not that I don't love the other trainers, because I do, but the reason why I registered for their workout is, well, two reasons. I did their live workouts on the cruise, and they were amazing. They were so fun, and I really think that Beachbody is grooming them to be the next super trainers. Well, obviously they are. I'm really surprised that their program is not the Summit launch. Instead, it's Autumn's new Country Heat program that's coming out. So I really feel like theirs will probably be the next launch. So I wanted to kind of have that personal experience with their workout and take some photos and kind of have that marketing stuff available for when their stuff does come out. I do know that if you don't have a hotel, there are some people in our larger team group that have said that they have rooms available. So speak up. They're at the Sheraton, which is where I will be, and I know some of our extended team will be there, so it's a great location. But I know that those spots will fill up quickly. Country Heat. Okay, I am really not into this program. I'm not a country music fan really by any stretch of the imagination, but I think I'm going to do the live training just because Autumn is going to be there. And I think it'll be a great opportunity to learn about the program, to, take tons of pictures and post all that stuff over social media. People always want to know what the next thing is and what's going on. Just because I don't like country music does not mean I'm not going to buy the program and encourage it to my challengers who do like it, because I know there are plenty of people out there that do. So if you're going to Summit and you have any inkling about doing the live training, they are really fun. I did PIO last year, and it's a workout. I mean, it's like a full day from 9 to 5 of training. It's not like you're working out the whole time, but be prepared to bust your butt and probably be a little bit sore the next day, but totally worth it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Devon, but I just want to introduce you guys to her. She is a 2-star diamond. Her husband is also a 2-star diamond. She's, like I mentioned, from the Midwest. She's actually from Wisconsin, and Marcia Smirka is her upline sponsor, which means she's part of our larger upline with Melanie Mitro and so forth. So she's kind of our cousin or our sister, or I don't know, something like that. She's got 2 kids. She's been coaching almost exactly the same amount of time I have been, March of 2014, and after about 1.5 years, she went full-time with coaching, which is super, super amazing. So with that, I'm going to try to get out of my share screen here and then turn it over to Devon. Okay, let's see. There we go. Awesome. Okay, followers, Devon. Thank you for bearing with me with that.
No problem.
Okay.
I'm going to see if my screen will share, because I do have slides, surprisingly. Okay. So...
Oh yeah, it's working.
All right, perfect. And I always say this before every call I talk on, but I'm not the best with Mac. So if there's a better way to do a slideshow, I'm sorry, but this is what I'm rolling with. So if you guys can see it, I'm good. Anyway, as Kim said, I'm Devon Hardel, and I have been a Beachbody coach since March of 2014. And so, a lot's happened since then as far as my Beachbody career goes, but I'll get into a little bit of that. And then I really want to talk to you all about, moving forward, when moving forward is your only option. With this business, there's so many ups and downs and so many things like I personally have failed at, where I, maybe at one point in my life would have just thrown in the towel and have been done with it. But I know with this opportunity, the only thing we can really do is move forward and learn from it and grow from it. So I wanted to put this quote on this first slide here. You might have seen this, especially if you're on Pinterest. It's like all over Pinterest. But an arrow can only be shot by pulling it backward. When life is dragging you back with difficulties, it means it's going to launch you into something great. So just keep focused and just keep aiming. And that is really my mantra when it comes to Beachbody coaching, because like I said, and you might have all experienced this as well, but there's so many goals that I have set that I have not reached, or things that I have tried that have flopped, or posts that I've put out there where I've got like nothing back. Sometimes even messages saying like, what are you talking about? So I want to let you know you are not alone in that. It happens to us all. So I'm going to talk to you about my experience and how I've pulled myself out of, a rut with my motivation or a slump, in my business. So a little bit about me. I know Kim mentioned a little bit about this, but I, started in March of 2014. I live in Wisconsin, but I'm actually from Minnesota. So I was dragged over to the dark side with my husband. He's from here. So that's why I'm here. It's not so bad, except for I'm a Viking fan, and it's pretty sad over here. But anyway, I'm a 2-star lifetime coach. My husband is 2-star. So I like to be cool and say I'm 4-star combined, but really I'm 2-star lifetime. And last July, so I had my daughter last April 7th. So she actually turned a year old last week. So my goal when I got pregnant with her was to quit my job by the time I was supposed to go back to work after maternity leave. And a week before I was supposed to go back, I put in my notice. So that was like a really huge moment for me, a good like goal that I reached. And then I'm coaching full time now, but I will say, like I said, I have failed 1,000,001 times to get here, and I'm still failing, and I'm still crazy and weird and just a complete scatterbrain as a coach. But it works if you keep moving forward. So a few rough patches that I do want to highlight and let you know, like I said, you're not alone if you've failed. My first big stab in the gut was missing the Success Club 5 All-Star title in my last month, my 12th month of the business. It's on me. It's something that I had complete control over. I don't want to make excuses for it. But the day of the last month, I had a return and I lost a couple points and I didn't make them up. And that, I will say, totally was kind of like it deflated my air balloon. Like I just didn't really know what to do. I thought I was a failure. I thought I was a bad example for my team. It's Success Club 5. I really should be hitting Success Club 10 if I'm serious about this business. And I didn't do it that month and I missed it. And I honestly wanted to curl up in a ball and roll into a hole and not ever come out again. I felt so embarrassed. You just get all these feelings of just oh my gosh, what am I doing? This business might not be for me, which is totally not the case. So my next one, after I cleaned myself up from that little wreck, I, a couple quarters ago, missed hitting the 2-star bonus for myself and for my husband, all because I missed 10 PV under my husband to keep him at diamond, or 2-star diamond, I should say. I overlooked it somehow. You guys, that's like ordering a fix-it cookbook. Had I done it the night before, we both would have got the bonus. And that right there probably was my biggest, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I don't know my business. How did I miss 10 PV? I've been talking about this and working so hard for this, and I missed it. And that's 2 bonuses. So it was just kind of I wanted to cry, and I actually did for a full day. I called my coach and was like, I suck. I'm horrible. I'm a bad coach. I don't know what I'm doing. I missed this huge goal. I've been talking about it for months, and oh my gosh, now what? So, like I said, a lot of rough patches. And then since then, I've been stuck at 2-star since last May. So it's almost been a year. So in my mind, I've had this kind of in my head to move up in rank at least every couple months. And I haven't done that. But there's nothing wrong with that either, because the biggest thing, and I'll get more into this later, but is really just to pick yourself back up and learn from it, so that your team doesn't do the same thing. And that's how I've really started viewing my failures, you should say. Moving forward is that, I'm throwing myself into the fire for my team. I'm going to experience all this, learn from it, grow from it, and then hopefully pass back what I've learned from it to my team so they don't do the same exact thing. And, now I have my eyes on that PV for my husband and myself to make sure we have it good and set in stone for the next bonus, and things like that. So really, and it's something that I tell my team too, but, we all have it in our minds, and we see all these top coaches so successful, reaching all these goals, and even newer coaches signing up and then surpassing us and moving up in rank faster than us. But the thing about this whole business is that if we're all moving forward and we keep pushing forward with this business and we're consistent with what we're doing, we're all going to reach that end result that we want. It's just that everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different for everybody. Some might be doing it faster than others, some longer, some easier, but we all have the same opportunity. We all have the things that we need at our fingertips to make it happen. It's just, who are we willing to stay on for the journey of this? And that's really all it is, because nobody's different. Nobody is better than anybody else at this. It's just that they've maybe applied what they've learned a little bit faster, or they've put themselves out there a little bit quicker than others, but we're all doing the same things, and we all have it in us to be in that top 10 if that's your goal, or to quit your job if that's your goal. We can all make it happen. So some things that really helped me snap out of my rut, because after missing that 2-star bonus for myself and my husband, I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this. This is stressful. I need to just get a job again. And this is not for me. But that's dumb. I can't think that ever again, because, this opportunity has endless potential. And that's just the thing. We just need to realize that and make sure that what we're doing and our work that we're doing today is matching the goals that we have. And that is what I was missing. I wasn't putting in the amount of work I needed to put in to reach those goals and maintain those goals. So now, it took a lot of reevaluation, a lot of going back to the drawing board a little bit. But some things that helped me do that was just stop playing the comparison game. I know that's a really, really hard thing to do, especially if you're a newer coach, or even if you're a coach that's been in this for a while and your business has just been stagnant for a while. Seeing all these coaches out there, there's so many, and we're so blessed to be surrounded by them every day to get motivation and inspiration and support and that type of thing. But at the same time, it can be kind of like a little, I don't know, like it can be hard to see other people reach the success faster than us when we feel like we're putting in all this work and doing the same things. So for me, I just stopped unfollowing the top coaches, except for my own, because I see the group pages. I can go in there whenever I need to get something, and I can always look them up if I want to check out their timeline. But every single day, if I'm scrolling through my Facebook and seeing all this success from all these people, it's great and I want to support them, but at the same time, it almost made me think, okay, maybe I need to post differently, or, they posted about this. Maybe I should be doing that same thing too, or they're running a sneak peek this week. Shoot, should I be running a sneak peek this week? It makes you just second guess everything you're doing. And that's not the way to go about this, because nobody wants a Beachbody robot. Nobody wants somebody that's just like the next person. Like, we need to figure out what makes us stand apart from the rest. And you can't do that if you're always comparing yourself to other coaches out there, or always seeing what other people are doing, because they are going to kind of sway the way that you do things. And it's just, subconsciously it just happens. So, like I said, I unfollow the top coaches, and then I just really took some time to reevaluate my why. When I signed up as a coach, my why was really just to help other mothers lose weight, because I had lost weight and I felt great. So I'm like, you know what? I want to help other mothers do the same thing, which is still part of the reason why I do this, but it cannot be the only thing that drives me, because helping people is great, but there has to be more to it than that. There has to be more skin in the game, so I set that first goal to quit my job, and that really, really, really pushed me. And then I quit my job, and then I kind of went stale. So that is at the point where I'm like, I needed to reevaluate why I was doing this, set an even bigger goal, put more skin into the game, and really just keep that in front of my mind with what I'm doing. Because like I said, helping people is great. That's why we're all here. We all want to help people, obviously. But there needs to be more to it than that, so if it's to pay off debt, or for me now, it's to hopefully help my husband quit his job someday, so that he can be more present with our family and do something that he is more passionate about. But, think about that why, and really, really think about it. And when you do it, put it on a piece of paper, or, put it on your dream board, or put it on the mirror that you look in every single day to get ready for work, or whatever it may be. Make sure that it's always there for you to see visually every single day. Because the times when you're not going to want to post, or, message that person back, or follow up with the people that have been ignoring you, or whatever it may be, that's what's going to push you through those times and keep you moving forward. Another thing, and this is just for me personally, but personal development is something I have put under the rug from day one. I'm not going to lie. It's something I didn't think I needed in the beginning. I was super motivated and excited about coaching right from the get-go. And I wanted to make it work for myself. So I just kind of did personal development here and there. I wasn't doing it consistently every single day. Some days I would do a bunch and then I wouldn't do it for weeks, and it just wasn't very consistent. And that honestly played into my business. And I will say that, digging into personal development, especially during the times where I've been in a slump or in a rut or just felt like super unmotivated, I'll, go on YouTube and just find a really good motivational video, and I'll blast it for the entire day. Or, I'll dig into a book and, even just Googling like how to personal development books for motivation or this and that. There's a ton out there, but just figuring out what you need at the right moment is crucial, because I know as coaches, we all recommend, read The Compound Effect or The Millionaire Messenger, or, books like that, but you need to really find a book that speaks to you now. Otherwise, it's really hard to dig into that book if you can't relate with it where you're at with your business now. So finding what you need is crucial. And then just talking about it, with your family, with your friends, let them know, because they're more or less going to support you. So, letting my husband know that I missed this goal, this big bonus goal, was really hard to do. He was a little disappointed too. But just being able to be open about it helps. Even if they don't have any input back or suggestions back, just being able to just get it off your chest helps. So I also do this with my team, to be honest. I am a very, very open book when it comes to leading my team. So I let them know if I'm struggling, just because I don't want them to feel alone. So I found a lot of support that way too. And it almost helped us all rally together and learn from each other during that moment. And then just remember how you felt when you started, and then get that feeling back. Because I think as coaches too, we all go through this honeymoon period where things are great, we're loving it, everything's easy peasy, people are interested, they're liking our posts or congratulating us on our success, or if we've lost a little bit of weight, it's awesome. But that only lasts for so long, and then you really need to start pushing yourself after that. So I tried to dig back to like the day I started and what I focused on at that point. And it was the 3 vital behaviors. And it was easy then. So I'm like, I need to get back to that, start focusing on those 3 vital behaviors. The rest will follow. But it gave me that spark back. This all kind of combined together really gave me that spark back and made me just realize like, okay, I am here for a reason. I am making a difference. Yes, I have failed a bunch, but you know what? It's only going to make me stronger, and I need to keep pushing forward. Because honestly, if you fail, the only thing you can really do is move forward and move up from there. So that's what I kept telling myself, and that's what really helped push me out of that slump. And then, like I said, getting back to the basics. So focusing on what you can do really well. The 3 vital behaviors, obviously, those are ingrained in all of us, and they should be things we're doing every single day. But for me, I love posting on social media. I love being goofy. I love being myself and sharing just stupid stuff that happens to me throughout the day, or things that I think are funny. So I got back to doing more of that. When I'm up to this point, I was looking at all these other coaches, and they had these big, long posts, and it was very valuable information. And, there was a lot of heart into those posts and passion, which is great. But I felt like I had to do that with every single post, when really I was just kind of losing who I really was, and I wasn't putting who I really was out there, because I felt like I had to be so like monumental with everything I posted, where I had to have all these comments and likes and people saying, you totally read my mind, or this is exactly what I needed today, which is great. You need that every once in a while, but it doesn't have to be every post. And that's kind of what I had ingrained in my mind after following all these people. So I just got back to the basics. Like I said, focused on what I did really well, did my 3 vital behaviors first, and then everything else followed after that. And then I asked for help. I know Kim is in our New Leader Conference group page, but I post in there here and there and just ask for input from other coaches and just say, hey, I'm really struggling here. Like, anyone have any recommendations for me? And just that support too really helped spark me and let me know like, hey, I'm not alone. Like, there's other people out here that have struggled through this too. So don't be afraid to ask for help either, and let somebody know like, hey, what can I do here? I'm really stuck here. Any suggestions, just let me know. Totally okay to do that, because this business is not one than any of us know going into it. I guarantee about 95% of us have never owned our own business before this, or have a business degree or anything like that. So being open to suggestions and even criticism sometimes, and asking for help is going to really help build your business and make you more confident as a leader too. And then just moving forward, envision your life the way that you want it to be and put that on your dream board. For me, that dream board, and you guys have probably heard this a million times, but if you haven't, having a dream board really truly helps. I'm a very big visual person. So setting goals, and I do it probably every 3 months, I'll just sit down and kind of look at where I'm at now. If I've missed goals, I'll set them again and make them more realistic, because, you don't want to set a goal that you can just like coast to, but at the same time, you don't want to set a goal that you can't reach unless you do something crazy. There has to be a happy medium. So sitting down and reevaluating that, putting it on your dream board. For me, I have my dream board as my desktop background on my computer. But put it out there so again, you can see it every single day. And then think about too, like where you see your team going. What is your team morale? What is your team mission statement? Think about that. And make sure that you're portraying yourself like that too, to your team and to your social media following, because that honestly like really helps you find your niche, and it helps you figure out, like, I don't know, I see a lot more comments on stuff when I'm truly being myself and being a weirdo from people like I never would have gotten comments from, but then I realize they're almost exactly like me. When I actually look at their page, I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's like me. But I never would have reached out to her or had her reach out to me had I not, put my personality out there like that. And then just be realistic about the work it'll take to get there. So for me, like I have some really big goals I set this year and they really freak me out, but I need to be realistic about the work to get there. So yes, Through Vital Behaviors are great, but I need to invite more than 3 to 5 people a day. I might need to post on more than one social media outlet. I might need more than 15 minutes of PD. So, think of what your goals are. If they're super big, then you need to go super big too. If they're not super big, then, match the work to get there. But just don't set yourself up for failure or, self-sabotage yourself in a way by making a goal that's super huge and then not matching the work to get there, because you're only going to fail. And, that's just not fun either. So, and at the same time, and I put this quote on the last slide too, I think, but I wanted to say it here too, but don't be afraid to start over. If you have failed, it's a brand new opportunity to rebuild what you truly want. So, think of it that way. Know that you can always keep going. You can always start over. There's nobody here saying because you didn't hit this goal now, you have to stop and you're done. That's the beauty of this business. We can go as long as we want. We can go as fast or slow as we want, but we can always keep going. And that's the main thing. So yeah, I'll open it up for questions, but I do want to leave it with one last quote. There will be obstacles. There will be doubters. There will be mistakes, but with hard work, there are no limits. And that is really, truly how this business is. If you work hard, you'll get paid hard, if that makes sense. But it is the truth. The work you put in gives you that payback. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this and that you got a little bit from this. But I will open it up for questions and we'll go from there.
Well, thank you so much, Devon. That was awesome. And, it's great to see someone that, most of my coaches look at you and they see a 2-star, 4-star combined, and you're so right. Like, we don't necessarily focus on all those obstacles that it took to get to that point, and we all have them. Every single coach does. You're very truthful and honest in sharing your stumbling points and all those things that you did. So I just appreciate the fact that you're so real. And I know you say you're a weirdo and all that, but it's like attracts like, so I must be a weirdo too.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we flock to each other. And
right? You had such a good point, and I wrote this down because I loved how you said it. You said nobody wants a Beachbody robot. And I've never heard it put that way before, but I love it. Because I tell my team, don't be a cookie cutter. Yes. Of course, we have all of these great systems and things to put into place that help us get to where we want to go. But you have to brand yourself because people want you. And like I said, like attracts like. So the only way you're going to attract people like you is to be yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you look at those top coaches, you think, oh, well, maybe I should be more like Melanie Mitchell. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm not nearly as organized as she is. Or, I sure wish I were more like Amy Silverman. But wait, I don't think I want to get tatted sleeves. Like, all these things I admire about top coaches, but that's just not who I am. So I have to be myself, and I want all of my coaches to be themselves and embrace the things that make you different, because that's what sets you apart. It's not a shortcoming, it's your strength. So Absolutely. That's my little plug on that. But Kristen actually had a question in the chat bar, and she was wondering, she lost rank once by missing information on a downline coach. And she was just wondering what reports you run to kind of keep track of your downline, and what do you feel is most important to monitor your business, like when you're in the coach online office?
Honestly, I probably could be a lot better with this overall, but I really just look at like my actives and inactives. Like if they're an active red, I'll go and look to see like when their last order went through. And see like, has it been a month past that last order? Like, is there still one coming and it's just showing up that way now because it hasn't come through in this week yet? So I'll look at the inactive part of things. And then just follow up with the coaches that do go inactive or are showing that red to make sure everything's good on their end. But otherwise, I just check my own downline and count my people and make sure that I have enough coaches active, and really go from there. And if my diamonds, I check their downlines as well, I should say, and just make sure they're good to go. But really all I look at is the inactive versus active coaches, and just make sure there's enough under each person and myself. And it's bad, but that's it. I mean, I run reports for Success Club and stuff like that and volume. But really that's all I check.
Yeah. Well,
so you do that.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you do that then just in the sponsorship drill down?
Yeah, I do. And I do it at least once a day. I'm kind of finicky with it, but I go in there a few times mostly just to make sure that I'm not missing something. But yeah, I just go my sponsorship drill down, and then I look to see who's active versus inactive. And
make sure you check. I like to check that on Tuesdays. If you check on Wednesday, it's almost too late to do something about it because all those rank changes come out on Thursday. So I like to look and give coaches a heads up, like if they're projected to lose rank because one of their downline becomes inactive, I do try to reach out to them because a lot of times they aren't even aware of it, especially if they're like a new emerald and they're not monitoring that actively. So if you're one of my emeralds and I've reached out to you because of that, it's just something that I like to watch because I hate to see my coaches lose rank because they're not aware of it. And you probably do that same thing too, Devon, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And one thing too, and this is something I learned not that long ago, and I might be a total idiot for not knowing this, but at the diamond level, like your 100 PV that you need, 90 of it has to be on home direct. So that extra 10 PV can come from like other customers ordering under you, not coaches though, just customers or anything else that you've ordered that's not HD, but 90 of it has to be on home direct. And if it's not, you don't qualify for diamond. So that was something where I was like, oh my gosh, I never knew that. For myself, I'm signing up at least somebody as a customer a month that takes care of that extra 10 PV for myself. But that's how I missed it for my husband because I was only signing up coaches under him, which only goes towards my team volume under him and not my personal volume under him. So I missed that 10 PV because he was on Shakeology HD, but that's only 90. So that's where that extra 10 got missed, where I thought he was just good to go. So that's one thing to really keep in mind. Like if you're looking at a spouse account that you're not putting a ton of people under, and if you do put people under him, it might only be like discount coaches or active coaches to maintain their rank. Make sure that 100 PV is going through and that 90 of it is on home direct if you're building that person to diamond.
Yeah, and Denise, it is 5 weeks, but like if you're on HD, you have to have that every 5 weeks. If it's 6 weeks, you will go inactive.
Which really stinks, and they probably did this on purpose, but holding your rank for 6 weeks makes you lifetime.
Yes.
But then, one person only counts for 5 weeks. So
yeah, I'm sure they did do that on purpose. At least it kind of seems that way.
Yeah.
Great information. Did anyone else have any questions? No, and I totally support what you said, Devon, about personal development, because that is what has gotten me through all of my slumps. And sometimes just checking out of the Beachbody world, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned like unfollowing top coaches. Well, when I'm in a slump, I tend to not like the coach videos, like the coach training videos. I'm like, my head's gonna explode if I hear another coach talk about coaching and how great it is. So I feel like tune that out and really delve into the personal development that has nothing to do with Beachbody.
Mm-hmm.
John Gordon is one of my favorite authors that has really kind of psyched me up and given me a great outlook. I love him. So I've been sharing his stuff with my coaches, but it's okay to kind of like check out of all that kind of training world for a while, because sometimes it just a fresh perspective and getting more personal development on things outside of Beachbody can energize you.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds really negative, and it's not anything against Beachbody, but sometimes we just get so bogged down in the world of the Beachbody world that we kind of forget what made us excited about it to begin with, and all the unique opportunities that we can bring to the table with our fresh perspectives, I guess. So I love being the idea of being weird and original and quirky and just capitalizing on all those things that make you uniquely you, and don't be a Beachbody robot. I love that.
Yeah, I do too, because, before I signed up as a coach, I'm friends with a lot of people on Facebook. I've had it since I was in college when it like first came out. So I have so many random people that I'm friends with that I don't even remember, but over time, you do see all these coaches out there, and whether it's Beachbody or it works or Advocare or whatever is in right now, everybody kind of looks the same. So you do want to stand out from those people and just be your weird self and not worry about the rest, because you're just going to blend in.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing too that you kind of touched upon when you talked about asking for help. I love the groups, and our coaches have access to so many groups. It's almost like group overload, but I also really highly encourage finding a success partner, or if it's not an official success partner, just someone within the team or some other coach that you can talk frankly with about your struggles and what you're working on and that type of thing. Because sometimes that one-on-one dialogue, it's really so much easier to be open and honest, as opposed to in a group or on a team call or something like that. And I know like that's why I love events so much, because I can form those connections with other coaches and kind of like figure out how they've gotten over their struggles, or just realizing that I'm not alone in some of the things that I've struggled with too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, if nobody else has any other questions, I'll let you get back to your night. I know it's kind of late, but Devon, I really, really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you letting me on your call. It's so nice just to see other teams and just, hear other, I guess, input or takes on things, and just see other people. And it's pretty cool.
I know, it's what we were talking about. Fresh perspective is awesome. I love it. So I would gladly help you out again if you ever, I know I was just on your call, but if you're ever in a slump, I'll help you get out of it and be on your call, okay?
Awesome. Same here.
Okay. Well, everybody have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.